I'm here with a couple of leaders from our church, Kathy and Linda, and they've both been through some really challenging things, and I would just like to ask them what advice they have for people who are facing big challenges, or when things really go terribly in their lives. You face a catastrophe, and how do we respond as believers? Linda, what are some of your thoughts on that?
Well, when it comes to grief, and that's kind of what I deal in, number one is it's okay to be mad at God. It's okay to take things to God because He promises to be with us and He'll show up. Also, be kind to yourself and feel your feelings. It's real important that you don't stuff things. If you're going through something, you have to be able to put it out there, feel it, and then you have to be able to recognize truth from untruth. There's so many times we blame ourselves for things that are not, we weren't responsible, and then accept responsibility for the things that we do and put one foot in front of the other. Sometimes that's just all you can do, and that's okay. If you're a grieving person for any reason, a loss, a death, anything, you have to be kind to yourself and let yourself have the emotions you need to have, learn from them, grow through them, and one step by step, you get to a different place.
That's beautiful, Linda. Kathy, what kind of things did the Lord teach you as you were going through some unbelievably challenging times?
Yeah, expressing how angry you are is great. It's wonderful. You have to find a way to do it and do it safely with people who won't judge you for it or will not take it on or do any of that stuff. I have a friend and somebody, when my second son passed away, called and said, "Are you okay?" And then somebody else came in and said, "Are you okay?" And I thought, that's the stupidest question I ever heard. So that was our code word with my friend. I would say, "Okay, ask me if I'm okay." And then I would be angry, I would cry, I would wail, I would do whatever I needed to do to get it out. Recently, I was upset about something going on in my family, and I just started typing. I got a Word document and I started typing, and I hate this, I don't want to do this anymore. God, it's just like in the Bible. But you also know that your roots are grounded deep, and God is good, and if God is good, then He's not going to do bad things for you. Instead, you need to know that He's good and He's grieving with you. If you're going through something, it's important to know that He is right there beside you, and He's never going to leave, and He's always going to be there, whether you see Him, feel Him, whatever. He's never going to not be there. And most of the other stuff that Linda said, I said you need to have grace with others because people are going to say dumb things. They're going to do things that are, I call it, less than helpful. And
you're very kind.
And then also you need to have grace with yourself. As I mentioned, both of my boys have passed away, and Mother's Day is awful. So I know that if I just take the whole day and I just do nothing, that I've at least made it through the day. So have grace with yourself that you're going to have days, no matter what you're going through, that you're going to be angry or sad or bitter or whatever. You just can't live there.
That's right.
You can visit it because those are your emotions and they need to be validated. Mm-hmm. And I think that was all I wanted to say.
Oh, there's two good places to really lose it. One in your car because no one else can listen, and two in the shower. You're already wet, so all the tears just can flow. And Kathy, I think, said the most important thing. You have to feel all your emotions, but don't live there. Find the grace, find the peace, find the light wherever it is in the moment where you are. It may just be a smile on someone's face. It may be the most tiny thing, but in those things you'll find God and you'll find His presence. And she also said something about that He's always with you. When you're in the pit, He's in the pit with you. And you mentioned something about God cried when your boys died.
Yeah.
And I think that's lovely. I think that's lovely that she knew that Christ cried when she lost each one of her boys.
He had all kinds of stuff he wanted them to do here on earth, and I won't get into all of it. There was no one to blame for their deaths, and that would not have been his plan A.
Oh, no.
Now, I did want to say that, as we said, it's okay to be angry.
Oh, yeah.
But blame is not very healthy. It doesn't matter if it was a car accident, you blame that other person, you're the one that's going to suffer for it. It's going to be a real roadblock
Yeah.
to your healing.
So forgiveness
We live
of
in a
people
sinful.
is hard.
Yeah.
And it's not even forgiveness as much as it's just let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. But me holding on to that doesn't do anybody any good.
No.
So
Absolutely. We live in a broken world, and
Yeah.
broken things happen. And God is there to redeem it. He doesn't always change it. He's with us in it, but He's a redeemer. And so when you look, as you go through something, if you look for the hand of God, you'll find it. And that was the most healing thing for me when I lost my husband, is looking back, seeing how He was always present and He redeems so much.
And for me, when my second son passed away, I realized that people in the United States don't know how to grieve. They don't know how to handle grief. They don't know how to help people who are grieving. And so I started kind of sharing what was going on and how things were going, and wrote them down, shared them on Facebook, because people are hungry to learn how to help people who are grieving, because we just don't have those skills anymore.
I think you get 3 weeks of bereavement. You
Yes.
come back to work and you're supposed to be able to
Yeah.
handle things.
Yeah.
Year and a half.
As a matter of fact, I had a boss after Steve died that said, "You've been gone 6 weeks. Don't come back until you're done grieving." And I thought, you've never grieved. You don't know. I'll come back when I'm functional.
Yeah. There you go. Functional.
That's a good distinction, a
Yeah,
really good distinction
very
for
good.
that. Well, Kathy and Linda, thanks so much for your insights on this. Where can people get help? It is best really to find somebody who's safe.
Yes, that's the most important thing, is to find someone safe that you can share it with. Now, if you're looking for resources, there are a ton of good books. I belong to not a blog, but it was a website that you could post messages to and you could support each other. And they have ones that are for specific things. So that's a good place to go. And the fact is, you just keep talking, keep talking.
I was a grief group facilitator for New Hope. It's a grief group in Long Beach, California, and I saw magic, just crazy magic things happen in the groups, with people sharing their story and hearing that they're not alone, because
Yeah.
you feel very alone in your grief.
Oh, you
And
do?
when you hear other people going through the same, feeling the same things and going through the same things, it was God. It really was God. And so if you really feel alone, get in a grief group. They're in every town,
Yeah.
every city. Google grief group and you'll find one. I would suggest a faith-based one, but they're there.
Yep, they do.
That's wonderful, ladies. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll continue to help people through these things. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
All right.